What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It is your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. And man, we got a special day, man. Excited to meet this brother here. Been a while, man. We've been a couple weeks out from the HBCU schools, man. So we funneling them in here, every now and then, man. So I'm anxious to hear more about Prairie View over here, man. But I'm gonna let everybody kind of zoom in and get in and locked in and loaded for this great interview that we about to do. So I hope everybody had a great and safe weekend. I know this weekend was for the showcase level, some big time tournaments going around over here. I know my coach over here, my boy Coach Higgins, my boy Coach RIggins couldn't do nothing out here but just watch on video or something, whatever. He can't get out there. I know it's killing him right now. But
that's it, brother.
So without further ado, man, I would love to introduce Coach Auntwan RIggins of Prairie View A&M University. Coach, how you doing, man? You all right?
I'm doing fine, man. Thanks for having me.
Good deal, man. Listen, so like I do with all my guests, I have them, we got to learn more about you, man. So I want you to go all the way back. Tell me where you're from, playing career, to your coaching career, to where you are right now at Prairie View.
Oh, okay. I'm originally from Crockett, Texas, a little small town in East Texas. I moved to Houston, Texas when I was in the 9th grade. Played football, basketball, baseball all through high school. Got a baseball scholarship to Texas Southern University, which is in our conference, Southwest Athletic Conference. Got drafted out of there in the 20th round by Toronto Blue Jays. Played 4.5 years. Toronto Blue Jays and San Diego Padres. Got up to AAA for about a week. You know how difficult it is to play that game at a high level. I did the select thing for about 14, 15 years. Ended up getting a head coaching job at Prairie View. Just is going on my 6th year. We got cut short last year. And I'm having a blast, man. I'm enjoying myself. And looking forward to talking to some guys right now. So.
All right, good deal, man. Good to have you over there. So you are an HBCU alum yourself, huh? And got drafted out of the HBCU school yourself, huh?
Yes, sir. But it was a little different back then than it is now.
Can you please explain? Tell me why. Tell me why it's different, please.
Because back when I played, we had a lot of us going to a historical black college, and we can play. Back when I played, it wasn't nothing. It can be 15, 16 guys get drafted out of our conference. Now you're getting one, you're getting two. And I think the big reason for that is a lot of Power 5 are taking us now. Back then they wasn't. A lot of mid majors are taking us now, and a lot of those schools wasn't taking us. You look up and you're watching Vandy and Michigan play, and they got 3 or 4 brothers on the team. You know what I mean? Kudos to them. That's great. I think that's what the game needs, to be honest with you. So the guys that we normally would get are they're taken now. Usually, if they had one guy, he was an outfielder. Now you're seeing shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, catchers. So all the above, and I think that comes to the steroid era had their thing, so it was the big bopper, so they really didn't need the athletes no more. And then all of a sudden you go the BB core, so guys are not hitting 15, 20 home runs and stuff like that no more. So in order for them to compete, they basically had to go back and do what Kansas City did some years back when they had all them athletes on that stealing bases, playing defense, pitching. And so that's pretty much the way the college game has been. And so now they're not, they're not going to these black schools anymore because, bigger and Power 5 schools are able to take them.
Man, that's so you kind of seen the transition from when you was playing, the athletes, the boppers, back to, so why do you, I heard what you said as far as like, the Power 5s are now snatching up the kids, man. So what do you feel like you know, the Prairie Views and the SWAC, you know, schools and the MEAC schools have to do to keep these kids, you know what I'm saying? To keep them, you know, coming to the HBCU schools, man. What can y'all do, man, to make that happen?
Man, it's when you're fighting against cost of attendance, able to get a stipend, you know, get a kid getting $300-400 a month for a stipend, to kids that don't have that money or that they can use that money to help they family. It's gonna be tough. You know, we go out, we compete, we try to get these guys, and only those guys can tell you why they're not choosing us. You know, we get a lot of kickbacks after they go a year or two and not do as well as they think or they want. And you know, and we take them. You know, there's no ill will. You know what I mean? Because I always tell guys, you always go where you think is the best fit for you and your family. You know, and if you do that, who am I to say you're wrong? I try not to persuade kids either way, because at some point you're gonna have to learn on your own. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want you, but I'm not gonna talk down on another school in order to get you. You know what I mean? I don't think I can do is sell my school and do what I need to do to as far as recruiting to get you. But to be honest with you, it's not what I can do for you, it's what you can do for me. That's the reason why I want you. You know what I mean? So we battle. You know, we try. It's not like we don't try. So it's a tough battle. It's a tough battle, man. And you know, it's a perception of what black college baseball is and what they think it is. You know, I done had kids that actually transfer to me that been at a PWI and be like, I learned more here within 2 weeks than I did my 2 years there. You know what I mean? Like, so it just depends. You know, the one thing that I found out is it's not about what you know. Kids just want to know if you care. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the toughest things, you know, to understand and literally sometimes to make kids understand, because we're here to make you better. Sometimes sometimes kids just don't trust that. You know what I mean? So it's a work in progress. It's a learning experience. But hey, man, baseball has always been a challenge, and I'm living up to it, man. I want it. You know what I mean?
I mean, but they gotta come in when you come in the door. They gotta respect it, man. You basically was one foot away. You know what I'm saying from the league. Played multiple years, got up there to the top of the minor league. So you actually you know obviously you know what it takes to get there. You know that's the beauty. Sometimes I think it gets overlooked. Sometimes is you know yeah coaches here and there, but ain't nothing like that guy that played that pro game. You know, been there. You know what it takes to really see. You know what I'm saying that to make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big difference. Cause you know, I was a grinder. You know what I mean? We went out and we played the game. You know what I mean? It wasn't no we go out on Saturday morning and compete. I'm talking about have two full teams, you know, and some people on the side waiting to get in. You know, it just doesn't happen like that anymore. And the way the game is going is so analytical. You know, you getting polished kids, most likely it's not happening. So you have to develop. You know what I mean? Because you know it's nothing against you know just select and all these big showcases, but this is the only thing that kids do. They showcase. They don't actually know how to play the game.
Amen.
They showcase. And so now when you get in and you're trying to teach a guy how to hit and run, you know, and you know, most guys just think I just need to swing the bat to do a hit and run. No, you need to actually put the ball in play. We trying to go first to third, not just to second. You know what I mean? Like so that's the difference that I see. You know what I mean? And I'm big on that. I'm big on all the small things. And the reason why is because when I left Texas Southern, I was short on that. You know what I mean? Like all the little small things. mean, I was a real good athlete. I could run. I was a 6'4" runner. But yet I didn't bunt more. You know what I mean? I didn't hit and run. I didn't do all the little small things that probably could have got me to the big league if I'd have learned that early. You know what I mean? And those one of the things that, you know, that I harp on, especially with these kids. You know, you have a kid that's, you know, that's 5'6", 5'7", and he trying to lean with it, rock with it, and trying to pull it in a home run.
Tell me about it, man.
And you know, and just don't know how to do the small things. So it's a big adjustment. You know, you just got to have that kid to come in that want to listen and want to get better. And if he have an opportunity to play at the next level, he will if he come in and he listen. You know what I mean?
Man, I love it, man. So this is you making me laugh right now, man, because I'm gonna make sure I keep that in my brain right now, because that baseball side we got to hop on that a little bit later, man. But I wanna make sure that my listeners and everybody, shout out to everybody listening in, man. We got 4 or 5 different pages, people coming on, man. But let's take it back to Prairie View, man. So for guys, you know what I'm saying, where is Prairie View? What's the conference? You know, tell me a little bit about your school, man.
Oh, man. Prairie View is in Prairie View, Texas. It's a little small town, man, about 45 minutes outside of Houston, Texas. You know, we was in a Southwest Athletic Conference. We're a school about 9,800 students, about 55 to 6,000 students that's actually on campus. It's a beautiful campus. You know, the facilities that we got, man, we're probably one of the few teams in the conference that have great facilities. Just got a new football stadium, $66 million football stadium. We just built a track stadium. We just built a soccer stadium. We just added grandstands and extended the dugouts for the baseball stadium. Hey, we're doing it big, man. And, you know, we just a little small school that nobody know about. It's crazy because you really can't see it from the freeway. And so when, you know, I think I hosted a tournament there probably about a year ago, and everybody was in awe into the university because the assumption is that it wouldn't look as nice. But no, man, we have a nice university there, man. It's great. It's the place to be. You know, not because I'm the coach, but it is the place to be. So, hey, man, if you want to be a Panther, let me know.
Hey, listen, let's make it happen. I had the 45 minutes outside of H-Town. All right.
Yes, sir.
Texas is, you know, y'all. When it comes to recruiting side, man, I you know, you right there, H-Town, I mean, that whole hub right there. I ain't number ball players, but tell me where's your recruiting base, man? Tell me a little bit. Do you go just strictly in state, or you going out of state, or what?
That's the thing. We can't compete with in state, right? It's good, and no, it's not that we don't try, but we got 19 Division I's within 6 hours away from each other. You get what I'm saying? You got the Rice, you got the U of H, you got the Texas, you got the Texas A&M, you got the Baylors, and we're not even talking about the smaller mid majors. Southland, we got Southland all around us, you know. So we recruit all over. Yeah, it's a little different for our university compared to other universities in this conference because you know, Texas it's a state that they proud of they schools here in Texas. So we don't get many, you know, out of state fee waivers like every other school do. Baseball, we only get 5, so we have to be smart about how we use them. So and you know, the cost of going to school here is a little expensive than other schools. So all that takes into play, you know. The cost of school for athletes to go to school here is almost $21,000. You know,
that's in state, right?
Yeah, and that's in state, and you know, out of state is $35,000. So when we give somebody, you know, 25% in state, you know, they still paying a lot of money, you know, $10,000. And if they're not a Pell Grant person, then you know, you got to take all that into consideration. you know, and then if you're a freshman, you got to have a 2.8 to get into the university, which the NCAA would say 2.3. They end up losing a couple of good arms because, you know, they didn't have 2.8. So we just have to buckle down on the recruits and make sure that we get guys stuff in early to make sure they got all their things in order. But no, man, it's not a state that we won't recruit. We just got to get out there and get it. You know what I mean?
On your current roster, give me a little outline of, like, you know, where they from right now. You know what I'm saying? Is everybody from Texas, or what's your current roster, man?
I got kids from Chicago, Michigan, Nebraska. You know, Florida, had a couple kids from Florida. You know, and we're able to get a lot of these kids just because academically they can get in. You know, and that's why I always try to tell kids when you take this test, just don't take the 2 parts. You know, take all 3 parts. I don't know about you guys, but the best thing that I ever did for my dad was I was able to get enough scholarship money with Pell that my dad didn't even have to pay for my school. You know what I mean? And you know, most of the time, you know, sometimes money may not be an option, but if your mom and dad can keep that money in their pocket, that's a benefit.
That's right.
You know, so you know, I like I said, man, we just don't stay in Texas. We get out there.
All right. So if I heard it right, did you say you get 5 out of state or 5 total scholarships? 5
out of state waivers, and I'm not fully funded, so I'm right at about 8.7 in scholarships instead of the 11.7. You know, so we have to make work miracles with what we got, man. I don't complain about it, you know, because it really don't do you no good. It's you know, we just have to get out and hustle and grind and try to get out and see as many people as possible. Make sure they got the grades and go with it, man.
I don't know how y'all be listening, man. Y'all be it's like y'all got one hand tied behind your back, man. You know, you try to get the best you can, and just hard out here, ain't it?
Yeah, you know, and then it's one of those weird things too, man. You know, we're not a school where you get money donated and God donating $20 million, and then the state tack on another $20 million to it, and then all of a sudden you'll have U of H using 11.7 every year because now they can use endowment money to go out and get whoever they want. You know what I mean? Like, so that's and you're competing against that as well. You know, when we're going out, we got to give somebody 80%, and when U of H come in or Texas come in and give them 25%, or a walk-on spot, we had to compete against that as well. You know, so that's why development is huge for us. You know, and then the NCAA don't actually give us enough time, you know, to develop. So we got to work with what we got. You know what I mean? You know, it's not like pro ball. You know, you're getting, you know, a couple hundred balls before you even take BP, and then you're gonna take another 25 to 30 or 40 in BP. So you know, it's a lot of work, but I mean I love it. You know, you know, I just don't know if people understand how, you know, the obstacles that we go through as coaching at a historical Black college. But what I can say though, it is a whole lot better than it was when I was in it. You know what I mean? When I played. So no, man, we're doing a whole lot better. You know, we're getting a lot of kids in school, graduating kids. You know, we graduated almost 75% of our athletes. We actually graduate more than actually the student body itself at the university. So you know, we do a good job, especially with that. APR is good. Baseball APR has been 1,990 for the years I've been here. Last year, I think we had last semester we had 31 students, 3.0 or better. You know, we give kids a good opportunity to graduate when they get out of here. We pay for summer school for the kids. So we try to make sure that everybody is able to get 6 free hours through the second session of some school or the first session of some school, depends on which one you can do. So when it's time to them come up off that scholarship money after their 4 years, with no eligibility, they can do that, and they can leave that with a degree. So I'm very proud of that, man. Very proud of what we're doing academically.
All right, let me get some. We got a lot of questions coming in, man. Let me finish mine, but let me they want to go, right after the gusto. Marcy Washington says, "Are you looking for upcoming seniors? They want to go right for the gusto." You know what I'm saying, Coach? So,
hey, man,
you looking for incoming seniors?
Now I'm looking for anybody that can help me win. You know what I mean? And I'm a middle infielder by heart. You know what I mean? But I end up being a utility guy, so I'm looking for baseball players, guys that understand how to play the game and know how to compete. Put themselves, put the team before themselves, and ready to rumble. Sometimes, the one thing that I have learned is that sometimes going after talent is not always the key. Sometimes it's going after someone that knows the game, that know how to compete, and that can win you games when you need them the most, instead of the talent. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So no, man. If you can help me win, you understand the game, you know how to play the game, and you put your team first. Man, Prairie is the place for you. I have had 3 or 4 freshmen starting in my lineup every year. Like I said, if I don't play that freshman, junior, sophomore, I don't play that favoritism. If you can help me win, you can put that bat on the ball, you can catch your winners, and you can do the things that you're supposed to do at the time when you're supposed to do it, and you give us a chance to win, Prairie is the place for you. It's another thing too, man. I don't know if I can say this, but I do not lie to kids. I'm straightforward. I'm blunt. Sometimes it gets me in trouble, but I don't know no other way, because this game is already too hard to play, and then to sit here and lie to kids and distrust it's going to make it even difficult. You know what I mean? So no, man. See, if you got the tools to play and everything work out for me to get you, then I'm gonna do so.
Yeah, I love what you said, man, because people don't understand. There's a difference between, you can have a talent in the world, but there's certain things about ball players. That's what you say. Like, you looking for some ball players, some grinders out there that's ready to go to war. You know what I mean?
I don't know if your listeners, man, that people don't understand is when you're watching the College World Series, it's not the big boppers or the guys that throwing 100 that actually win those games. It's the guys that you barely even know. You know what I mean? It's just average baseball player, but because they playing for LSU, they're above average. You know what I mean? And I always use Connor Mangum. I think that's the center fielder for Mississippi State. Yeah, and he's a undersized. He's a great hustler, but he can put the bat on the ball, and he got the will to win, and he does everything right. You know what I mean? But yet he gonna probably go down as one of the Mississippi State's, the mayor. That's what they call him. But we have that all day in our conference. You know what I'm saying? Like we have that type of guy all day in our conference. The only difference is he understands why he's there. He understands that it's all about team, and he gonna do whatever he needs to do in order to win. Right? But skill set wise, we have that. You know what I mean? But that one, that one tool that's in between the ears, that's great for him. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's
Is that, I mean, honestly, because you can gauge the runner, you can gauge the defensive player, you can gauge that dude that be squaring up balls consistently, man. But I mean, I'm sure as an evaluator and a recruiter, man, that's the toughest thing to measure dudes' smarts and heart, man, because you seeing them 1 or 2 times, 4, 5, 6 innings at a time, the most. It's hard to measure that until you get them one, and then you like, man, you know how do you go about evaluating that. You know what I'm saying? Like that extra, that sixth tool. You know what I mean?
And so when I go out and I watch kids, especially certain kids, and you know if they got it, I watch them do everything. You know what I mean? So I watch the coach to see if he's giving a sign. I watch it, especially when there's guys in scoring position. If it's a guy, at first base, he's trying to get him over this inside pitch, and he's trying to inside out it. And I didn't see a coach give a sign. I didn't see a hit and run. Later on, I'm gonna ask him about it. What was his thought process about that? His thought process about that, and that's how you figure it out. You know what I mean? And his attitude. See, but that'll be a guy that you will have to see 4 or 5 times. You know, it may not be something that you see the first time. You know what I mean? That may not be something you see the second time. Right? And then as you constantly keep on going out and you see him, you start to see it, and now you know you got your winner. You know what I mean? Like, so it just takes time and patience. You know what I mean? But in order to win, you have to have that patience. You have to have that patience because this is not a sprint; it's a marathon. And, at the end of the day, it's a marathon. And when you run that marathon, you need to have horses like that so you can compete and win that marathon. So, no, man, it's tough, but I think it takes hard work and dedication as far as your recruiting and what you like.
I love what you said, man, because you saying you spilling some knowledge right now. I hope parents is hearing it. You spilling it without really you saying it, but it's how you saying it real, like from a D1 coach, parents. He's saying when he goes to evaluate, especially that he's saying that middle of the road, not that just standout prospect. He said that smart guy that if he can help his team, which essentially wins more games, is that guy, how he takes his signs, what he's trying to do to help the team win, the little things that only recruiters and scouts see that parents most times ain't really understanding and looking for. They're looking for the doubles and home runs and the stealing bases and stuff.
Yeah.
He's dissecting that even deeper, saying that, listen, I'm looking for how he takes his sign, how it's a hit and run if he's trying to hit the ball in the hole in the second base, inside out in the swing, or is he, being selfish out here? You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that he's spitting right now. I hope my parents is listening, man. So
I want to know if I could piggyback off that. As a man of color that played this game, and sometimes it's always been, on summer teams, been the only black. We have to know our child's ability, and then because we can run, we can throw, we can do other things that a lot of people can't do on the baseball field. They don't teach us the small things. You know what I mean? And that hinder us, because now by the time they get to us, they don't want to learn the small things because they have always done what they've done, even though they got away with it. But I may not need you to do that when you come to Prairie. I may need you to bump more. You know what I mean? Not saying that you can't drive the ball out of park, but if you don't know how to bunt, then it's going to be difficult for you to play, and not just for me, but for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, so all the parents that's on this Zoom, I would tell you to tell your kid to learn everything about the game, learn how to bunt, learn how to hit and run, understand why. So when a coach gives you something, just don't take it. Understand why he gave it to you. You have to know this game in and out before you can ever be great. Before you can ever be great. You get what I'm saying? And so this is why, the average baseball player actually get to go to LSU. You go like, how this dude play at LSU? You know what I mean? And you're not understanding, but those things he know, and he know like the back of his hand, and the coach trusts him. He trusts him. So the game get on the line that he know that this guy gonna do what he have always done, because he have never tried to do anything other than what he can do. So I thought that I should express that a little bit, man, because I think this is what's killing it's what's killing our kids when it comes to having an opportunity to play at a high level. You know what I mean? Like you get guys that get drafted just off of talent or speed on, but yet they only stay there 2 years. You know what I mean? You know, so it's one of the reasons why I actually wanted to, you know, to coach at a historical Black college, man, because like I said, when I was coming out, it was, you know, 13, 14 guys, and then, you know, 5 years ago, it was only one guy. Like I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? So, you know, hey, we got to keep working, guys. Got to keep working. Got to understand what it takes to play at a high level. You know, not just say D1 baseball, because I don't think anybody that plays in their backyard say, hey, I want to go to Prairie when I get big. I want to play for Prairie when I get big. There's always that team that's in your city. I want to play for Kansas City. I want to play for the Astros. I want to play, you know what I mean? So, hey, just keep working, keep grinding, and keep doing what you need to do in order to be successful.
Man, I love it, man. God, spitting knowledge right now. Let me get these questions, man. They coming in, man.
My bad. Man.
Nah, man. Hey, I told you we gonna talk baseball, man. I just want to satisfy my people, man, that's listening in. But man, what you saying is, I think, is a lot more important than what, you know. Anyway, so is baseball still big in the fourth ward? So many athletes used to come out of the fourth ward. Don't hear much about the fourth ward athletes no more.
Nah, man. You know, pretty much baseball in the inner city is not the same. So, you know, we have the RBI program that's here, but, you know, a lot of people don't like free stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're looked down on it because it's free, but not understanding that they're getting training that some colleges don't give. You know what I mean? Like, so, no, it's you know, inner city baseball is, other than the RBI programs, it's non-existent.
He said we just posted the importance of Bunny on DB recording. All right. So we got Keenan. Let me see. Question on another page says, who calls your pitchers' games? Chipper asks. Got you a player or the catcher? The pitcher or the catcher? Who calls, or the coach? Who calls the game?
My pitching coach called my games. But what we do is we allow the catchers to call the games throughout the fall, and if they do a good job, then we allow them to call the games. But here lately, with a new pitching coach, we've been calling the pitchers.
All right. We said, let me see. Everybody over there putting about their kids and what they got and everything. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all love over there. I'm gonna put it out there. All right, Kingdom Love family. All right. Where are you with your 2021 class? Got 6'7", 60 center fielder in Arkansas.
Okay. Just I guess when we
I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I'm gonna get all the emails and everything out there, man.
Yeah. Tell them just email me, man. You know, Arkansas ain't that far. I can roll to Arkansas.
All right.
Whatever they get this you know, this
COVID thing straight.
Yes, sir.
What Marcy says, how are you getting to see your out-of-state players?
Most of the time, if we don't see them on video, or if they don't send us an email, sometimes, you know, we'll see them on video, and then if we like them, then we'll go see them in person. Doesn't matter where it is. You know what I mean? If you can put gas in the car, you can roll. You know what I mean? I mean, and that's how it have to be for us. You know, you got to be passionate about what you do. You know, so. But it's, you know, the internet is a beast too. You know, especially, it don't take much to see talent, right? And so I can look at a swing, I can look at how somebody feel the ball. Now it's just all about me seeing what they got in between their ears. And so that part is where, you know, I have to see in person. I have to see, you know, the parents in person. You know what I mean? You know, because my number one thing is when I have recruits and I bring them in, I want to hit the kid. I don't want to hit the parents. You know what I mean? I want to see how he can adapt it into an environment without his parents, because at the end of the day, they won't be there. So all you kids, when you go on these recruits and when you talking to these coaches, make sure that you're doing all the talking, and make sure you have questions. Make sure you have questions. You can't drive hours or fly and stay overnight, and then when the coach asks you a question, if you have any questions, you don't have any questions. No. Just make sure that you have questions for these coaches, because this is where you plan on having to spend the next your 4 years. So you want to make sure that it's a good fit for you. You know what I mean? Like, so don't be shy. Don't be just make sure that you ask the right questions, and make sure that you do majority of the talking. Because sometimes, parents get in there doing all the talking, and that may be the last time they talk to you. You know what I mean? So just make sure that you go in and have conversations and ask the coaches questions and go from there.
I love it, man. It's good. Good info right there. He's spitting, man. Let's go with we got a question over here from my boy D Brooks. Says, Coach, how many kids are on the full roster, and how many kids quit because of the work required?
What do you mean, as far as on the field work or school work?
I think on the field mainly.
Oh man, this year is actually going to be a 40-man roster, because we bringing back five seniors. So we bring back 5, and plus the normal 35-man roster. So this year would be 40-man roster. I haven't had anybody to quit because of the workload. That's one of the things when they come in on the recruit, that I let them know that, especially freshmen, that it's going to be tough. Because first of all, your parents are not there to tell you what to do. You're going to have to learn how to manage your own time. You got a weight room. You got to study hours that you got to get. You got to get homework. You got to get practice. So you have all these things that you have to do that you didn't have to do when you was in high school, and you have to do it every day. So it's just tough for freshmen altogether to be able to manage their time, and it's all about time management. So no, but to answer your question, no, I haven't had anybody to quit for the workload.
All right. Ty says baseball overall on the scholarships is tough versus how football and basketball have 4 guys. Yes. Todd asks, do you get, and I think Tasha had this question too, do you get many transfers from JUCO?
Yes. When I first started it, I didn't want to have too many JUCO transfer. I actually wanted to try to build a program. And me personally, I think that when you bringing in 12 and 13 JUCO guys every year is very difficult, because it's a high turnover rate for every 2 years. So what I do is I try to go out and get some freshmen that can come in and play right away, and then plug in what I need with junior college players. I think last year was my first year where I had maybe 6 or 7 JUCO guys to come in. So yeah, like I said, man, if anybody can help me win games, doesn't matter if you're a freshman coming out of high school or you're a junior coming from junior college. If you give me an opportunity to win, I definitely want you to be a Panther.
All right. My boy Rick says, do you attend any college showcases?
All the time when I can, you know what I mean? I try to hit all the showcases here, which is a million of them. I try to hit the ones up that they have in Atlanta. I try to hit the Breakthrough Series. My college roommate run all that stuff. So every chance I get, I try to make it happen. And it's just one of those things that with having 5, with 5 waivers, it's just so much you can do in out of state. You know what I mean? And you have to watch how, because if you give it to a freshman, that means he's gonna have it for 4 years. But if I give it to college, that means he's gonna have it for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just tough. So we have to watch how we use our out of state waivers. Because we'll be locked in for 4 years when we can actually see somebody that can compete and help us. And we can't ask for a guy to be paying $30,000 or $20,000 to come to school, and it's just tough. So I mean, every chance I get to go to a showcase, I'm out all the time.
All right. We got Larry J said, hope to see an RBR program in the Hampton Roads area.
What's up, Seal?
Dustin Seal said, what up, Riggs?
Yeah, right. What's
up? Mark says, what is Coach RIggins' opinion on young black players in the game of baseball?
I look at it like this. I go, it's a lot of talent out there. It's a lot of talent out there, but I think they have some, not all, have a misconception of what it takes to play this game. You know what I mean? Like I said, what's the use of being a 6'3" runner but don't know how to steal bases? You know what I mean? What's the use of being a 6'3" runner but yet you can't catch everything in center field because you may not have, you know what I'm saying? You may not get the jumps. You may not be able to read balls off the bat. So I think that we as kids of color need to understand how to use our tools. You know what I mean? Just because you hit 300 don't mean you're gonna have an opportunity to get drafted. You're a 6'3" runner, but that 1-2 you have don't show up on the field. Right? If you're a 6'3" runner, you should hit 300 with your legs. Easy. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I think that the one thing that black players are missing in the game of baseball right now. But the one thing, the kids that do get it are first round picks, high round picks. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's always a lot of us first round picks, high round picks, compensation picks, second round. You know what I mean? Like, so those guys get it, they understand it, but it's a lot of us that don't. So that'd be the one thing that that's my opinion about about black players in baseball right now. Just understanding their tools and use them. Show them. If you got a good arm, show it. If you can run all the time, not just some of the time. You know what I mean? So I think that's the one thing that I can say about that.
All right. I love it, man. And I'll be trying to, I'm gonna go on again. I don't want to get into the deep, but it's like when I used to have these teams and I used to get so, I'm like, listen, when you're a fast runner, man, even your outs can get you money if you if you hit that ball on the ground, you run as hard as you can. You showing these dudes what you got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you thinking the doubles and all of that. It's not. I said the worst thing you could do for a fast dude is strike out. You know what I'm saying? Hit the ball, and then run. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to do. Even if you over with 4 ground outs, and you showing them what you got. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dudes don't be understanding sometimes and be upset. I'm just talking from a evaluation standpoint. Obviously, you want the ball player that can win, but I'm like, when you out here, I love what you said earlier. Dudes want to lean and rock with it. That don't like put the ball, man, put the ball on the ground and run.
It's weird, man, because every year, doesn't matter, where I played at, I probably got 5 extra base hits just because I was supposed to be out. You know what I mean? I was supposed to be out. Hit a ball, swing and bunt, catch it, get out there, take his time. Next thing you look up, I'm safe. You know what I mean? Just things like that, man. When you got wheels and you can put pressure on the team, you just don't understand what type of offensive weapon you can be. And if you can drive the baseball, you can be a doubles guy, but you can also be a singles guy when you got 2 strikes. You know what I mean? Like, understanding how to use what you got to get where you need to be. Right? And if you can do that and you can understand that, you're an offensive weapon. You don't have to hit the ball over the fence to do that. You know what I mean? Jose Reyes changed the game for everybody when when he was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and first of all, you're trying to keep him off base so you give him something good to hit. You know, and second of all, all of a sudden it's in the gap. You know what I mean? Like, so it's you have to be able to understand what you bring to a table, especially when you can run. You know.
Lord have mercy. That's why I say, we talk all day about this type of stuff. But anyway, let me get these questions in, man. Mark out of Maryland says, how can players get involved in RBI programs?
I know here, they have a registration period where you can sign up to be part of the program. They have here they have leagues. They have peers where they just do instruction. They also take these kids all over the world, man, to play. New Orleans, Kansas City. I know they got one here in Austin. So you get an opportunity to learn, but you also get an opportunity to travel, especially in baseball. The one thing in baseball that I have learned is that when you get into another environment and you're watching other kids, you actually learn. You know what I mean? You actually learn what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? Like I always tell my guys when I send them off to play summer ball, I don't want you to stay around here in this area. Go to Colorado. I want you to go to Nebraska. I want you to go to these other different places because you're going to learn something. And if you pay attention enough, you're going to get better. You know, so yeah, man. It's crazy.
Let me get this. Russ says, what is your graduation rate and what do most of the kids major in? And do you allow red shirting so kids can get 2 degrees in 5 years? This is a very good question.
Hey, man, I say this. Our graduation rate for our athletic department is right at 72%. We graduate we have a higher percentage of graduation rate compared to the normal student body. And yes, we give them every opportunity to graduate. We make sure that we stay on them about their grades and all that. Is what an athletic department is supposed to do. No, if a redshirt guy is there and he's coming back for a 5th year, and if he want to get a second major, I'm all for it, man. Education is the key for me, and it's something that you can't take away from these kids. You know what I mean? So, and any opportunity you have to either get a master's or get a second major, and still play the game, then do so. And if it comes to funding, then we'll do everything in our power to try to help you out to do that. The athletic department also have help out guys with 5th year seniors and try to get these guys to graduate. So yeah, I mean that's a good question.
All right, the Bobby Minor, what's up? Bobby says, do you think playing for an HBCU hurts a player's draft stock compared to playing at a major D1 program?
It just depends on what scout is seeing you. You get what I'm saying? Because all scouts don't think the same. All comes with tools. Because even though you're playing at HBCU, you still play Texas, you still play A&M, you still play Baylor, you still play all these Power 5 schools need mid majors. And it just depends. It depends on which scout is looking at you. Because sometimes it only takes one scout. And one scout go in and he fight enough for you, then you'll be a high rider. You know what I mean? But like I said earlier, it doesn't matter what school you go to. If you ain't showing your twos, then it's gonna be difficult for you anyway. You go, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. So we had a kid, Marshawn. I Guy with Marshawn last name, but he was a shortstop at Grambling a couple of years back. I mean, I'm talking about if you hit anything in the shortstop, your batting average going down. That's how hit 400, right? But then he goes out his first year out and hit 170. You get what I'm you get what I'm saying? Like, so you have to go out and you have to compete. You know what I mean? If you're able to hit 400 here, you can't go there and hit 170. You know, then you got to understand this. He didn't get drafted his junior year. He hit 400. He got drafted his senior year. He hit 400. But where are you gonna play in the big leagues? You're not a big league shortstop. You don't hit enough home runs to play second base in the big leagues, right? You're not a center fielder. Like, so that's the reason why he had to come back for his senior year. You know, I'm not gonna take you now, but I'll take you after your senior year. You know, because at the end of the day, we don't project you to be in the big leagues as a shortstop. Right, so all that takes in consideration as well. This is the reason why they always pick somebody that they model you after. You know what I mean? You know, okay. Well,
say that again. I like that. Say that again. You said what now?
They always when they scouts come out here, they'll pick a player in the big leagues that they think you're going to be, a project you think you're going to be. You know what I mean? And this is how they look at it. You know what I mean? Like, go out, you got a lefty. Oh well, we think he could be a Ken Griffey Jr. type body. He can play. He understands. He got that sound. You know, you know how it goes. You know what I mean? Like, so it's we just have to. If you can play, they're gonna find you. Period. And I'm a prime example of that. You know what I mean? In high school, 4 people show up for practice every day. 13 show up for a game. Scholarship out of there. You know what I mean? All right. I go to Texas Southern. I get a scholarship out of there. I get drafted out of there. Like, so if you can play, they're gonna come see you. It's just that plain and simple. But facts, yeah, it have been shown that if you play at a top D1, that you 9 times out of 10 you'll get drafted compared to a historical black college. Yes. So I'm not gonna leave that out, but I just had to explain. You know what I mean? Like, so.
Mark says, what does Coach RIggins and his staff look for in a player that would go to PV?
If we're looking at you, we already know you got the talent to play, but we'll ask you questions just to see what you're going to say. How you say things. You know what I mean? Because the talent is there, but what happened if you come here and you have to sit while you wait? Are you a guy that's able to do that? Are you while you wait? Are you gonna out? Or you gonna be mad? Or you gonna want to transfer because you're not playing right away? You know what I mean? Like, so these are the things that we have to try to figure out within an hour, 30 minutes, or however long the recruiting visit go, or however long we're talking to them. And sometimes we hit, and sometimes we miss. You know what I mean? It's just the talent is. If we're looking at you, then we believe you can play here. But mentally, we don't know if you can. Because the game is all mental.
I love what you just said, though. Let me ask you this, Coach. I didn't want to cut you off. But do you feel like when you interview a kid, you like his talent on the field, but have there been kids before that essentially talk their way out of you offering them?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No doubt about it. You know what I mean? Because it's got to fit. It have to fit in what your plans on when you playing the game, but it have to fit with the other 34 guys. You know what I mean? Of course, everybody's personality is different. You handle stuff different. You do different things for different people. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But it got to fit in. You know what I mean? A kid can talk his way definitely out of offer opportunity.
Mm.
You have to, you have to stay humble and understand that this is a blessing that you may have an opportunity to play D1 baseball because
Mm.
everybody, you know what I mean? So yeah, kid can definitely talk his way out of it.
Mm. That's great advice, parents, kids listening in. Oh man. Speaking of advice, Keisha says, "What is your best advice for a rising junior during this pandemic, as far as paying paying to attend perfect game showcases if he's already getting looks from schools?"
Um, Me personally, I will continue to pay because now you're gonna be playing against some of the top competition. Yeah, just because them few schools are looking at you, they're also looking at other people as well. And if
Mm.
how they may come, it may be first come first serve. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Especially right now,
Mm.
because the rosters are going to be big, and it's actually some guys that actually committed to certain schools that actually had to go to junior college because they don't have room for them. So no, I continue to keep going. I continue to keep working it and playing as hard as I can and making sure I'm doing the right things because those schools may end up signing somebody else that they see a week later. You know what I mean? Like, so continue to pay and continue to compete and, have more than just, a few schools looking at you that let you know that you have an opportunity to play D1 somewhere. So, no,
Mm.
continue to participate in those showcases.
Mm. Good advice right there. Um, Let me get some more questions. Um, yeah, I got so many that came in. Let me. There was one question I really liked. All right, here. All right, what do you? Let me get this. All right, the how does HCCU baseball take advantage of the basketball players now considering HBCUs? What needs to be done to get kids to stop thinking HBCUs as a second tier, like D Wade said?
I mean, that's I don't know if it's just a misconception of just historical black colleges don't want to go out to do the best kid out there in the country because we do. But it's not up to us. You know what I mean? It, Sometimes it can be us, and when I say us, I'm talking about people of color that keep people from coming to HBCUs just because they experienced that themselves. The one thing about uh, what I have learned, especially since I've been at Prairie, is people love their university. They love Prairie. I'm talking about, man. It's a great environment, but
Mm,
they experienced there, back 60s, 70s, and of course those are not going to be a good experience. They still have those on their shoulders. You know what I
mm,
mean? So
mm,
I think that it's we do everything in our power to try to get the best player we could possibly get. Um, you know, but when you have, like I said, the A&M, the Texas, and these guys are able to get, stipends, you know, money, some of the facilities, everybody's not like my university,
mm,
as far as having good facilities. So, but that don't make the player. The facilities don't make the player. To me, I think um, it'll make you a better person because it will teach you how to grind without. You know what I mean? It's. I mean, I've been without for a long time, so it doesn't matter if a facility is not gonna make me or break me.
mm,
I'm a big component of that because I had an opportunity to go to U of H or TSU, and I chose TSU. And I chose TSU simply reason because after doing my research, I have never seen U of H have a black shortstop.
mm,
You know what I
mm,
mean? So if I want to have opportunity to play shortstop, then Texas Southern was the fit for me. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like, so you have to do your homework, and whatever fit for you, fit for you. You know what I mean? But I rather go to Texas Southern and be moved than go to U of H than be moved. That was a choice that I made. You know what I mean? Now, if we have if we have kids to actually start making those choices, then that'd be great. You know what I mean?
Nah, I love it. All right. We got questions just came in. We have Tremaine says, how can student athletes who are from urban areas and cannot afford to travel across the country attending showcases such as Perfect Game or PBR access the recruiting process?
Oh man, it's like I said, man, the internet is a beast. You know what I mean? If you can't go to those showcases, and you're actually playing summer ball, just make sure you know how to videotape. Make sure you get some quality at B's and some defense and all that, and then just ship it out, man. And then if coaches like you, they'll look at it, they'll call you, they'll try to set something up. And you guys, you have to be able to use this this platform you got, because if that's the case, then coaches know people. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I got a kid that I need to see, man.
Say that again, coach. Say that again. Can you say that again?
Know people. You know what I mean? So if you can't afford those type of things, coaches can say, hey, man, I got a kid, I need to see him. Hey, let him play with you this weekend. Do me a favor, whatever, and it can happen. You know what I mean? And then you never know, because a lot of these kids that actually playing in these perfect games, kids of color, some of them are not paying. You know what I mean? They just that good to where they're not paying. So no, it's just reach out to the coaches, let them know your situation, and make sure you videotape everything you can think of, and send it out. And if the coaches like you, they'll contact you.
All right, Jermaine, that's why you need to holler at your boy. That's why I do what I do. All right. Let's go over here. We got gosh, let me get this over here. Mark again says, this is good stuff. Coach RIggins, can you talk to me about what high school players should be doing in this time of COVID? How should they prepare after losing so much time in their respective areas?
Oh man, game speed is always hard to mimic. You know what I mean? I don't think I can sit here and say is take care of your body. Make sure that's number one, because you can't do anything if you're on the shelf anyway. Make sure that you're trying to hone your tools. You know what I mean? Make sure that everything is staying sharp, and understand that it's a process. This game is always a process. You know what I mean? You can't go into your first game and try to be mid-season form. If you understand that it's a process when it comes to hitting, defense is always going to be something that catches on fast, because it's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? But hitting is difficult. You got to understand the process. That it's going to be a process. So make sure that you stay sharp with the bat. Stay sharp with your body. Make sure you're taking care of it. And when you get in it, when you start to play, make sure that it's a process. Don't go in and you go 0 for 4, but you hit the ball all 4 times and be mad. Be happy, because that's a process. And now you go in the next game, and now you square 2 things up. Yeah, you can go 0 for 4 again, but yet you hit 2 balls harder than what you hit the game before. Understand the process, and then the guys that understand this, the process, be the guys that learn how to hit a little quicker. You know what I mean? In order for you to be a good hitter, you got to learn how to hit, and that is the process of hitting.
I love what you just said right there. I love what you just said. All right, we got let me get here. D Rob says, shout out D Rob. Callie says, do you feel with seniors being granted an extra year of eligibility means a bigger backlog for the class of 2021 than anyone else?
It just depends. You know what I mean? Like, because everybody got their year back, but because you was a junior last year, you'll be considered a senior this year in the classroom. And it just depends on how you perform. If you don't perform well, and you're on money, and it's time to turn over. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. But to answer this question, yeah, it's going to be a backlog. It's going to be a backlog because if a coach bringing them back, and then if they're producing, then yeah, it's definitely going to be a backlog. It's going to the class of 2021 Power Fives, it depends. If guys get drafted, if they go to 20 rounds, and it's going to all be a trickle down, just like this year. So you have all these guys that, Power Five over recruit because they think guys are going to get drafted. All right, but now they have to take the kids. They have to even try to, send guys to JUCO now. So JUCO is going to actually be better than it was in the past. It's probably going to be better like it was when we played, where all the arms are going to be 93 and above. So I mean, I'd be surprised if they don't go back to that because of they taking rounds out of the draft. But no, it's definitely going to be a backlog.
All right. Dustin says, I coach high school baseball, and the kids say, how do I get better? Get out and practice. Don't come out and start throwing and hitting first day of trials. Great point, Coach RIggins. All right. Tremaine has said, thanks, guys, for helping keep baseball alive in the Black community. NCCU, all right. Shout out to Central Baseball alum, 2007 to 2010. Wish we could see the SWAT schools more back then. All right. I got a question over here that Greg says, do the guys that are already on the team have any kind of say or who joins the team the following season?
Say that one more time.
Yeah. Greg says, do the guys that are already on the team have any kind of say of who joins the team the following season?
No, they have no say. None whatsoever. But what I can say is your players are your best recruiters.
Right.
Your players are your best recruiters. So it's every year that we will get a guy that we will either miss or just slip under the radar that a player on the team would know or he would have played for. And he'll link us up and it actually be better than what he described it, or it may be worse. You know what I mean? But no, our kids are our best recruiters. But no, they have no say so. No say so.
All right. My boy Russ says, why can't the HBCUs go to the NCAA and show the discrimination of the larger schools getting more scholarships? Seems like you all, as a united front of coaches, go and protest this advantage.
Oh man, you're not. It's not actually the NCAA. It's your state. You know what I mean? We're state school. And that's up to the legislatures to do that. Because you think about, I want to say maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, it could be longer. Alabama State sued the state of Alabama because of the same reasons, and because why is Alabama and Auburn to get more money than Alabama State? We all state schools, right? So that's more to legislators and Congress people. That's above my pay grade. I really don't think it have anything to do with the NCAA. NCAA, they disperse the money out to see fit. I mean, and we benefit from it. So, it's not the NCAA fault that we're not fully funded. You know what I mean? So it's. I mean, that's above my pay grade, brother.
All right. I know Keisha asked for your. We're gonna get that Twitter on the end. I put the email up. We're gonna get the Twitter in a minute.
You got my Twitter, man. I don't know it.
Huh?
I say you got the Twitter account because I don't know it.
Okay, I don't know. I put the email up. I ain't got the Twitter. We'll get it. Somebody over there go find. coach's Twitter over there and pull it on there. Shout out to Jarrell and Maggie listening in. All right, cool. So we've been on, man, about an hour 15. All right. Great interview. And we could talk ball all day, man, but I would love to. I always have. All right, thanks, Keith. She got it. So what I'd love to do, since we've been on for a minute, man, I
Man,
love to have
I'm
my.
good. I'm good.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk a little baseball then. Talk a little bit more ball over here, man. So, I like. So for your current roster right now, your facilities wise and field wise, what is a I know you talked about the type of player you want, but what is the type of game that PV plays? You know what I'm saying? What's the type of game that if I go out there as a fan, what's the type of game am I going to see? Like, okay, I see that this is their style of play. What do you guys style of play?
Baseball. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just don't consider, just one style. You know what I mean? I want guys that can run. I want guys that can just flat out hit and just do everything as far as, hit and run, all the small things. And then I want somebody to chase the fence as well. So I want the total package of the game. You know what I mean? And that's what I try to go out and recruit. And then in the fall will dictate what, how much of it we do. You know what I mean? If we got guys that can go out there and just can flat out run, then we gonna run the bases. I focus just on stealing bases, but going first to third, first to home. You know what I mean? Like and that's the style. You know what I mean? Like I consider baseball the style. You know what I mean? This game, if your team is only great at one thing, what happens if you get down at that one thing? You got to do other things. So, no, man, my style is the game of baseball. You go out and compete and play the game the right way, and at the end of the day, you'll have a chance to win.
So you tucked away in H-Town, man. So when it comes to the SWAC, what's your furthest trip, man? Because now you got them Florida schools coming in now, man. So, man, you know what I mean? Y'all it's gonna be taking you back to your minor league days over there. Y'all flying out, man. What's going on? Them long Florida trips, man.
But we not flying. But I think that what's going to end up happening is we're going to keep both sides, East and West, and those schools will probably stay on the East side. We'll probably play them until tournament time. I know that we're trying to find a way that we can start playing guys on the other side, but it always come down to money. So they'll probably be on the other side. They're thinking about moving Jackson State. Who else in Mississippi? Mississippi Valley. Move to the other side. So.
All right. Kevin says, I know this question is always asked, but again, how do we get more of our kids into the sport at a high level?
Oh man, let's be honest, man. Our kids don't like failure. Our kids don't like failure because we don't deal with it well. So it takes a special kid to actually play the game of baseball. It's boring. Is active and it's football and basketball. It's more of a sport that when you're out there, you're on that island by yourself. You know what I mean? So when you make that mistake, it's on you. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest thing that is boring, and it have more failure than it have success. You know what I mean? And you played the game. When you were young, man. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? And it took me to pro ball to learn to deal with it. You know what I mean? Crazy because he's a good friend of mine, and I actually learned from him Orlando Hudson how to stay positive when you go 0 for 4. It's like, dude, you just went 4, you laughing and you smiling. And I'm like, that don't make sense. Oh man, or I'm gonna get him tomorrow. So what? Like it took me a long time to understand that. I mean, I'm 2021 when I'm figuring it. As long as a 12-year-old kid and a 10-year-old kid, they friend just got a big old hit, and then I just struck out 4 times. I don't want to pay this. You know what I mean? Like, so, it's just a lot of failure in this game. And it's boring. So it's and we just don't play it as much as we do recreationally for it to mean anything to some of these kids. You know what I mean? Because I just sit here and say that I played baseball. I just played it because I was just good at it. You know what I mean? How good I was until you get to high school, people start talking to you. That's how the game came to me. I always thought Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And my love for baseball just grew. You know what I mean? You don't have the sport is not even like that no more. You know what I mean? Baseball is played year round now. And the athlete, he's there, but he's not really, doing too much or nothing. So,
it's funny that question has been asked, like you said, a lot, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Coach. I don't remember somebody saying that what you just said. Like how usually they just like they like football and basketball. That's whatever. But the way you just said that, I don't think that as many times that question has been asked to me or I've heard it. I've never heard somebody say that. I ain't gonna say never, but I don't remember off the top of my head somebody ever saying, we don't like failure, and that is so true. You know what I'm saying? Most kids don't like it, but you know what I'm saying? And the fact that you stated that, I didn't even think about it like that, but that's a great answer, man. And I never heard that answer. Let me put it like that, especially being right out the mouth, being first.
It's crazy because when you ask kids that question, or when you're around kids, they will tell you. You know what I mean? Like they would say, "Oh man, baseball boy, I'm just sitting out there. Oh man, somebody needs to hit a ball out there." The next thing you know, you see them dribbling a basketball. You know what I mean? Like they tell you, how boring the game is. You see, you play it, so how it can get to that, but because it's not that to you. But watch a game, fall asleep, and wake up and finish out and finish watching. You know what I mean? Like it can get long and boring, and I think that's the reason why we're not playing it.
All right, my boy Greeny. Shout out to my boy Greeny over there, ex-pro guy, pro coach. Playing on the road, who has the most hostile environment in the conference?
Man, Jesus. I would say I would have to say Grambling.
Oh really?
Yes. Man, they got these 2 twins that come to a game, man, and they will call your name like they've been knowing you for 30 years. It's it's funny, man, but it's great. It's good for the game, man. But yeah, it's great. It's Grambling.
Okay. All right. That's good information. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We have a couple more. Lauren says, hit the nail on the head. Success 3 out of 10 times, and you're in the Hall of Fame. You're right. All right.
Yeah, but that changed. You know what I'm saying? That it's not that no more. I mean, dude, you can hit 250 and 30 home runs now. You don't have to ever work more in your life and strike out 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a different game, huh?
Yeah,
it's a different game when we came up, man. It's a different game. They don't care about the strikeout now. Back in the day, you wasn't considered a hitter if you striking out 100 something times a year, regardless of home runs. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's just it's accepted. Oof.
Yeah.
Different game, man. All right. Kids have to learn to fail first before you learn. You're right, Benny.
It's one of my guys, right? That's one of my incoming freshmen, man. And I'm excited to see this kid, man, because he's one of those kids that answered all the questions right. You know what I'm
I love
saying?
what you said with that, man. Kids can
You know what
talk
I
their
mean?
way
Like,
out of a scholarship, man.
oh man, it's and you know it's hard to, the talent is there, but when the kids say all the right things, and what he's saying, you can actually see it on the baseball field. Hey man, you got your winner, and and that's my boy Benjamin. Hey, appreciate appreciate that, Benjamin.
All right. Dustin said, learning a lot from Old Dog. Love talking ball with him, no doubt. Old Dog is Old Dog done been on this show two times already. Yeah. So
Oh
shout out
man,
to my boy Hope. All right. We got Jay Meyer says baseball is very challenging mentally. Getting kids to be strong mentally is what we need to work on as coaches and parents. No doubt about it. All right. All right, my boy Rosie, ex big leaguer, says passion is a great thing to have, but we must channel better because we'll carry the label of bad attitude and not the gamer label. So coach is right. We playing a game. I'm sorry, but some we playing a game where we can't be ourselves and show passion. From a psychological side, we still must learn to channel our inner passion. All right, so I think he's trying. My boy Roosevelt Brown. You ever play against Rosie?
yeah, I know of him. I know Vegas. Yeah, I know
Okay,
Vegas.
okay, yeah, yeah. So I guess he's trying to say, basically, you know how it is. We about the game. We passionate and we out there, but we get labeled, hard headed or temperamental and all of that. Where you may get a white player or something like that. He's a fighter. He's a what I'm saying and the difference of how we're perceived on the field. You know what I'm saying? Just by we may express our passion for the game differently.
Yeah, yeah. It's it's crazy you said it, but we have always been like that. Even in the Negro, that's how we play. Play. You get what I'm saying? So passion is what the ones that make it to the big leagues are the ones the passion just overflows. You get what I'm saying? I like what's the little young shortstop from the White Sox?
Tim Anderson.
Yes, you get what I'm saying? Like it's taking over the game. You get what I'm saying? Like it's just not just black players doing it, it's white players doing it, it's Latin players doing it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if you want to stop it, then you better put a wrinkle in it. You get what I'm saying? You better do something other than try to throw some cheese by somebody. You know what I mean? Stop hanging some stuff, right? So no, it's I understand what he's saying, but it's a new era. You know what I mean? Like, back in the 80s, they did it, but they did do it as often. You know what I mean? Reggie Jackson would pimp some stuff. Pete Rose would pimp some stuff. But that's all we see now. You know what I mean? It's just a time to change, and and I agree with him. You can't be a guy that don't play the game right and then be a hothead too. You know what I mean? You can do that and play the game right, and nobody won't say anything. You get what I'm saying? Nobody won't say nothing. If you doing things that just not carrying yourself well and just being a prick, and you doing that, then of course you're gonna get hit a lot. You're gonna get hit a lot. You know what I mean? Like, so it just depends. It just depends.
All right. So, Coach, man, what we gonna do, man? I would love for you to wrap us up, man. A great message, man. I don't know how I'm gonna get you up out of here, man. I thank you so much for taking out this time and talking about Prairie Review. But if you could, man, I mean, you gave us so many nuggets over this last hour or so, man. But if you could take us on out, man, I greatly appreciate it. Just a message, man. Just to the parents about the school or anything, man.
Oh man, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me on. I was a little nervous at first, but once I got to start talking baseball, man, man. So no, man, I would tell anybody, an opportunity to go play baseball at any level, I think you should do it. Anytime you have an opportunity to get your school partially pay for it, because baseball don't pay full rides or anything like that. But do it, and always and make sure you go where it's a perfect fit for you. And do your thing, grind out, compete, and take care of your business, because at the end of the day, we want that degree. You know what I mean? Daddy on phone, mama.
All right. Hey, pretty girl.
Say hello.
I know I done took up all your time with Daddy. I already know. So we gonna end right there. Listen, parents, I appreciate you guys listening. Coach, man, great interview, man. I appreciate you, man, learning about the school. I thank you for taking out this time. Parents, thank you for listening in with all the questions. Man, this is why we do what we do, man. So tomorrow, listen, we packed all week, man. I named all the coaches coming on tomorrow. I off the top of my head, I can't, but we got another D1 school coming on tomorrow. We're gonna keep this knowledge going. So tomorrow, parents, be on at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Remember that 6-week masterclass and recruiting, man. These type of tips that like coach is giving you, like he's telling you, man, how you can talk yourself out of a scholarship, stuff like that, man. This is just little stuff that's going to be in this masterclass, man, that you get to hear and see. All right, so sign up for that masterclass to get more information to help you guys long term. All right, so listen, we're going to end this over here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate you guys listening. Coach, my brother, thank you so much, man. We'll be in contact, man. I ain't gonna worry about it. It's good meeting you, man.
Yes,
and out on the backside, we are, I'm gonna find out what you need. I'm gonna find out, see if we can help you, man, with some ball players and keep this thing going, man. So I appreciate the time, my guy.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And be safe out there. All right.
4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, man. Love you guys. Thank you, Coach.
All right.